Back with another chapter of Princess Diaries. I'm really excited. If you know me, you know I'm a music head, love music, first love interviewing artists. And I will say, this person that I'm getting ready to interview, I want to call him a chameleon because every time I see him, he looks different. The sound is always amazing and the same. And if I must say, he's always the freshest person in the room. So, Luv Hutch, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so side note, and I'm gonna throw this BTS in because I still got the footage. We filmed an interview like this time last year,
Right?
And it was a great interview. But I just wanted to do it right. I wanted everything to be good. So now we're back a year later, and things have changed. You know, we were there talking about a joint project, but now you're here with your solo project. So like, let's talk about it because you did. I got an exclusive, so it's not available. Wait, when you dropping?
May 16th.
Okay, so by the time this interview drops, it'll be out.
Right.
But I got the exclusive, so I just want to say that.
Right.
But it's the exclusive I got. It wasn't titled, so is it not titled?
Self-titled.
Oh, it's self-titled.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So like, what? And I feel like when artists do a self-titled project, it's like it's putting who you are in track. So like, what was that process like?
So it was just like it was just a reintroduction of myself. And like I basically was just like, all right, so I had the name changed because it was formerly Heartbreak Hutch, and I was just like, I was originally gonna do it under that, but I was like, this is feeling different though. Like this is not really like like you said, every time saying the music gets like different, it changes, it gets better. So I was like, yeah, I think it's about that time. And plus, I already had made the names change like for everything else, like for all my handles. So I was like, yeah, I'm in a different space. This is like me now. So like. Reintroduction.
And why did you drop Heartbreak Hutch to Luv Hutch?
It's just a change. Like my life was changing. That part of me was like an older version, and I done did like a lot already under that name. And I've grown. So what I'm saying, it's just like that's really not me no more. It's about love, and I think that was just the journey all along. You know what I'm saying? It was just like I started off as like this kid, what I'm saying, who just had this like chip on his shoulder, and then it's just like I woke up one day and I got hungry and I ate it. And it's all about love. But
I love that. No, like just seeing the growth, because I know you for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, for a minute. So being able to see from motorsport to like here, I still have that shirt. Actually, I was gonna bring it today, but I was gonna be late. But I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you. So like just seeing the evolution, I just love seeing the growth with people. I'm definitely a fan. So like if your mixtape Luv Hutch self-name, if it had a mission statement for it, what would it be?
It would be like, this is who I am. And this is for anybody who's just like me, for sure. Like if you love music, if you love changing, what I'm saying? If you're not afraid to change, if you're not afraid to be who you are, if you're not afraid to just all around expression, what I'm saying? Like this is for you,
And I will say, I'm going to jump to my other question. But I will say, like, now with the fashion, because like I said, every time I see you, always fresh as hell. But, like, now I feel like the 2000s fashion is coming back. But it's like, you've been doing that. So, like, do you feel like everybody, like, biting on you, or everyone, like, you just ahead of the game? Because I was like, you've been doing this.
Yeah, I feel like I think that's, like, everyone's, like, initial thing. Like, when they think of it, it's like, oh, man, like, Hutch is right all along type thing. But it's just, like, that's just always been my vibe. Like, there's certain things that I just never really shifted too far away from, or if I like just like made different versions of myself, I just always kept it true to just who I am.
And it's always a reinvention, staying true to who you are, but just consistently reinventing yourself. So now we're gonna hop into the album. So like out of all the tracks, you have 10 tracks and a bonus. Love the bonus. What song do you think pushed you the most emotionally?
The intro track. How I set up a lot of my projects is like that. Like usually if I'm in the studio and I felt like the one made me write out the most, and I'm like, in there, I'm like, this is gonna be like the hardest verse ever. You know what I'm saying? That's usually the one that just pushes me the most. So definitely that intro. You know what I'm saying? I always put like a song like that on there just to start off with, just to kind of like get everything off my chest first, so that I can have fun a little later.
Right.
And then bring it back around, circle around towards the end. But that intro and the outro not the outro. Yeah, the last track before the bonus track.
Do like that one.
One of one. Yeah, that's another one.
You was talking your shit in 101. We gonna get to that. All right, so now we're gonna break this down. Track 1, Love, Luv. It opens in why, and I mean, obviously the name changed while you chose it. But is there a difference between how you express love in your lyrics and how you experience it in real life?
It's not too much different. You know, it's just like, I would say I express it more in the music than I probably would in like real life, just because I'm more of like a loner sometimes. So not everybody really gets to like spend a lot of time with me. You know, it's usually like short moments.
Good time, not a long time.
Yeah, you know, but it's just like people who are close, you know what I'm saying, that they get to be around me for long enough, like they'll, you know, they can sense that. But like whenever it comes to the music, like I think it's just like overpours in the air because I don't really get to like express it a lot with people too often.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, track 2, questions. And questions you ask, what's the point if I don't win? So right now, today, what would you describe a win as?
A win today? Shoot. Definitely I'm out of here. They made that phone call to me and I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Getting that first deal. I mean, for sure. That's like a big win for me. It's just being able to like be like, all right, I could put everything to the side now. Like, listen, you know, I could just focus on this.
Peace.
Good. Yeah, you know.
I think the older we get, like, I remember growing up, parents were like, rest your nerve, calm down. But it's like the older you get, is like the more I want peace. Like, peace of mind. I don't want no loud noise. Like, you know, just please, just relax.
But then like sometimes I feel like that kind of takes away from the hunger too.
True.
So I don't know. It's true. You know, so it's like a balance there sometimes.
But I also feel like with creatives and people like who just always like they're going after something, I feel like, you know, once you get it, and I know for me it's like once I get it, it's like, all right, what's the next thing? Yeah. And it's like I feel like that's kind of a double-edged sword because it's like you're not enjoying the moment that you're in. Right. It's like, all right, I accomplished this. Now what's next? So I don't know. I just think as a whole, you have to enjoy the win. Right. So like when you do drop the album, bask in that for a little minute.
I know.
Like, I know you're going to be like, all right, so I got to shoot videos. I got to do this.
That's exactly what's on my mind. Right. That's exactly what's on my mind.
Even if it's just for that day, just bask in people enjoying your music. Easier said than done. Yeah. Easier said than done because, you know, you got to have a plan. But just try, friend. Try. Right. All right. So also in that track questions, you have a line about church and sins hitting deep. So is that something that you wrestle with personally, or like faith versus environment, right? All that good stuff.
It's just like, so like, you know, me with religion, I've grown, you know, of course I went to church, you know what I'm saying?
In the South.
I grew up in the church, you know what I'm saying? Everything's been church, like ever since I was a kid. And I think I even felt like differently about it, especially like, cause I grew up in Atlanta. So I went to a big mega church, you know, so it felt like I said in a line, it felt like college, like, you know, almost because at an early age, because like, you know, it's so huge and like there was so much stuff for you to do, especially being in a city like that. Like there's always something going on, right? So there would be like a lot of people that would like come in and out. Like I used to see like Lil Chucky from
oh dang, Young Money, yeah,
he went there. T.I. would pop up every now and then. I think who else used to come? Ludacris would come through. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King's his sons would come through, his wife, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, people would just be there, you know, just in passing all the time. So it was just like, you know, I think like that, from that, I'm saying like, I went to church and like, I understood what it was, but like, I think being in a city like that, it kind of just like, okay, this is something that people do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Rather than like, this is like the only way to achieve this type of lifestyle. Right. I'm seeing all these people that I'm here. I'm like, these people doing totally different things. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They live very lively lives.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So maybe this is just like, you know, a place where, you know, you can come and like, you know, if you just want to reset. Right. And things like that. But it's just like, you can still get into stuff at the church too.
The church is messy. You know, and the people in them pulpits, the church musicians. And then
it don't help that like later on in the years, all these things started coming out about churches, and I'm just like, yo.
Everything. Like, close the door. First of all, I'm just here to say this. This has nothing to do with this man's thoughts or views or mine. Church musicians are the freakiest frogs you will ever meet. All right. Focus, Kris. All right, back to what oh, Lord, I thought I muted my phone. Not me. Sorry. Oh, they hit notify anyway. Because I was like, my do not disturb is definitely on. That was rude.
Be like, nah, she gonna hear this.
Right. Okay. So back to the question about religion. And I posed this question earlier to someone who I was interviewing earlier. Yeah. But I think it may be different since you grew up in Atlanta and you were around a lot of like celebrities and you just saw them like living their life.
Right.
But do you feel like being a black man growing up in the South with like just religion, do you feel like that maybe played a role in like your music, some things you may have wanted to do or didn't do? Do you think that played a role in it?
Yeah, it played more of a positive role than it did like a negative role. It's like it just inspired me to, you know, if I'm gonna do something, then like do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, be a performer. You know what I'm saying? Be like a showman. Because like at that church, like I got involved in a lot of things. I used to act. You know, I did musicals. I did a musical with Kris Michelle. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all was on the super mega churches.
Yeah, it was a big church, and you know, if someone they probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like so, like you know, I've been doing things like that, and I've been doing like you know, just like music things. So it's like from the jump, I was already like, okay, if I'm gonna do something, I gotta do it to a level to where you know what I'm saying
of excellence. Yeah, because that's what you came up around.
Every time. So it's just like, yeah, when you know when it comes to church and like me, it's just like you know, hey, appreciate you. And
even when you say like performance, like I being in the area and having to go to a lot of these shows, I tell people all the time, like I even just recently like I was a judge for this talent show and it was, the prize was $2,000 and I'm like, y'all up here on friend, I know how you missed that one because I posted it. It's okay. I gotta start texting people directly.
I be out the loop, but I be watching the loop like, though. I be out the loop.
I gotta start texting people directly because clearly, but so it's just like it was literally you know all type of talents, but it was mostly rappers and singers. And I'm like, if you up here for $2,000, like put on a $2,000 performance. You standing here, and I'm like, I wouldn't give you $1, let alone $2,000. So like, getting to the point, like when y'all performed at Blue Note, when we did the mic.
Open
night. That was a performance. The crowd was engaged. Even the people who know you, who didn't know you, they enjoyed the performance. And I just want artists to like. I always tell them like, study your favorite artists. Watch how they perform. Like, I don't know how else to explain that, but. Anywho,
no guidance on here.
Something like, all right, track 3, one of my favorite tracks. I love it. Champagne Hot Box featuring BFJ. I love the energy on it. It's very much, I'm popping my shit. I feel like I'm going to use that for one of my Instagram reels.
Yeah.
But like, what was I can only imagine, but what was the energy in the studio behind it?
You know what's funny? All right, so that track was originally like, I had it already recorded, right? So I did it, and I was like, yo, this is fire. And I was trying to find, like, you know, so I was like, I need somebody else on it. I was trying to find a feature for it. So, like, but yeah, you know what, after Couture Fest.
Okay.
I was with Max Goods, and, like, we was all hanging out, and then I think we was about to head somewhere, and then, we was about to head to Posh.
I remember
and then
that.
And then we found out that it was closed. And I was like, dang. So we just ended up chilling. I always had the champagne on me. So I was like chilling in the car. We was just like, I was running through some stuff just like that. And I played him the song. And he was like, bruh. He was like, yo, this is crazy. He was about to originally get on it, but he ended up getting on a later track on the project. And so like, yeah, he was like, bro, we basically hotboxed the champagne and was like vibing like the whole time. And it was just like, so that's like where the title comes from.
Right.
Because we just in the car, like windows up, like passing around like the champagne bottle because it wasn't nothing to do. It was nothing to do.
It's a time. That's how you make fun.
It was nothing to do. So like, yeah, that's where the title came from. But like, I was already lit when I recorded that though.
Oh no, the vibes are apparent. I was just like,
I be on one. Yeah, I be on one.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I feel like just put me in a video. I'm so tired of telling y'all, they shot a video and they didn't even invite me, and it was a house party. I could have been an extra. I said I let it go, but obviously I didn't let it go because I keep bringing it up. Anyway, on to track 4, Dinner. All right, it's very jazzy in the beginning. I love it. It's very. It sets the tone. Like I can just see the video for it, but like. When on the track it said, girls love me like my old name, I make hearts drop, Heartbreak Hutch.
Yes.
So we talked about what inspired the the name change, but like just that whole track, just everything about it, just the way you layered it. Like, what was the inspiration? Just the jazz intro in itself.
The jazz intro, I had the sample and I was like, I got to do something with this, but I also wanted to like, you found it, you know what I'm saying, a turning point in the project, you know what I'm saying, switch up the vibe, and then like, I was like, I'm about to hit him with this crazy beat, because I made the beat, it's inspired like a Neptunes type feel, I wanted to go for that type feel, and then like, you know, I got inspired by Nicki, you know what I'm saying, what you say about me, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, I gotta rock with that. So yeah, I put all type of elements together whenever I'm making music. I really just go off of stuff that inspired me.
Who's the female voice on the song? Oh, love that. Yeah. Okay, I figured. I wanted to ask, but you gotta give my girl her credit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because we didn't see the credit.
No, she credit on it.
Oh, because it didn't pop up on my end.
That's the untitled.
Oh, sorry. Okay, because I'm fighting for you. I'm rooting for you. I was like, hold
that's
on.
That's the untitled, unmastered
sorry,
version.
Guys, she's credited because I was ready to be like, where's her credit? All right, so, but yeah, no, I like that one. Love it. Definitely gonna be a favorite of mine. Yeah. All right, track 5, Voice of God. Yeah. So, like, what inspired this particular track?
Man, when I get to talking, you know what I'm saying, that's what be talking through me whenever I rap.
Come on.
You know, that's not really me. You know, that's always God speaking through me. Whenever I'm rapping, if I'm writing, that's not me. I'm possessed by, like, God, you know what I'm saying, whenever I'm doing that.
And I don't know, because I might be mixing it up, but is that the one that has the outro when it's just like, I want a black woman, da, da, da. Is that outro?
That's the outro to Champagne Hot
Okay,
Box. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So even with that one, I just feel like now it's just been like from just regular to just celebrities. More black men are like, I love black women, and I don't know why it just wasn't like this whole like and then like you have like these gender wars and these podcasts and so many things. So I will say it's refreshing to hear that black women are loved and all that good stuff, and you don't have to be black mixed with whatever. You can be blacks mixed with black and all that good stuff. All right, another one of my favorites. Track 6, Not My Business. I feel like it's one of those, like, it could be a mosh pit song. It just gets like, I don't know. I just want to start throwing some blows when I hear it. Yeah. Who is the guy who's, because I got the untitled version.
You got the untitled, so Moko Mitch. That's who's
on there. Okay. Yeah. I just love the back and forth, just everything. So what was the creative process like that?
Man, we did that in like 5 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I probably recorded that maybe like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh, wow. No,
you know what? St. Patty's weekend. I think we did that St. Patty's weekend.
I get the energy. I get the energy.
Yeah, we get that St. Patty's weekend.
How do you stay balanced and focusing on your own path while still like caring about the community and what the community got going on? Because it's hard.
It's hard. That's what I was gonna say. It's very hard, and it's just like, you know, I think I'm in the point now where I allow things to come to me. Rather than like, you know, going out and trying to like force myself to be a part of this and be a part of that and like make sure I'm here for this, you know.
Right.
I think I just like focus on like, you know, the things that I can take care of right now, and then like what I'm allowed, like when I'm available to, then I'll make sure that I'm there.
Right.
Or even if like with me doing the things that I'm taking the time out to do that I find important, I make sure that through that process, like, you know, I'm still having time to say, okay, like I can help this person, I can help, you know, whoever's there,
right,
and things like that. But yeah, it's a struggle. And
I feel like when you've been, because we've been doing this for a minute, so it's just kind of like, I had to tell somebody, I was like, I don't need exposure bucks anymore. And it's like, and not to say it in an arrogant way, but it's just like, when you realize you're taking time away from what you need to do, you can be doing it somewhere else.
Right.
And just energy, like energy is everything. And just going in some rooms and they just try to suck the life out of you. So like, I feel like the older, you know, we get, it's just like you realizing like, does this really align with what I'm trying to do? Like, is it going to elevate my career?
I know.
Or am I just going to have a good time? Like, that's really why I break it down to. All right, so we have the Timbo interlude, and I get from the Timberland to Neptunes, just all the inspirations. I just love hearing it. So, was this a tribute to Timberland, or was it something more personal?
No, that was the beat came from Timberland, and like it was like a challenge that he did and whatever.
Like during the
he sent the beat out, and then like, you know, I hopped on it, and you know what I'm saying, I was like, shoot, you know, whether he hears it or not, so I'm putting it on the project.
And You gonna hear this.
Yeah, you
but
gonna hear this.
oftentimes, like sometimes, and it depends on who's listening to the album. Sometimes people skip over the interlude.
Yeah.
Some people really enjoy a good interlude.
Yeah.
Personally, I like a good interlude.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm a part of the Beehive, but like I feel like on Beyonce's, on her Renaissance album, every interlude was just, it was seamless. Like, it was a seamless interlude.
You're like, man, this could have been a track. Like, I want a little more.
Right. Know? So, I'm always a fan of a not only a good interlude, but a well-placed interlude. And I feel like throughout this album, and it kind of made it feel like it was on a loop. Yeah. Like, because I feel like when you came in, that was like maybe my 6th loop running it. Yeah. But it just plays. It doesn't feel like, oh, I got to go skip this.
Right.
So, like, it definitely, it flows really, really, really well.
Thank you.
So, Bonnie and Clyde, I'm assuming this is...
Yes.
Okay.
This is John.
I laugh, okay? But, all right, so clearly, I was going to say the chemistry is undeniable, so that's why I assumed. But I don't even need to ask my question. I was going to say, how did you find the right artist? But that wasn't hard. But do you think ride or die relationships are still real? Or are they romanticized for, like, social media and music or whatever?
I think the more it is away from social media, probably the little better it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's there, it's out there. It's rough, y'all.
The street, first of all,
rough, y'all.
The dating pool is with hookah ashes, Casamigos, and pee.
It's rough, y'all. I think anything after COVID, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be...
Now, don't do that, because I'm still in the dating pool. Relax, because damn, relax.
Anything after COVID, man, it's like, oh, man.
All right, and your final track, One of One, and you pretty much letting people know you're one of one. So, like, what was your energy going into the booth to do that? Like,
I was back in that mode, the same way I started off with. I came back to it, and I'm just like, that's one of those tracks, man, where it's just like, you know, I just be feeling myself.
What did man say? I'm in that mode.
I'm in the mode. You know, I'm one of one, and I think it's, you know, it's just something that people should know, especially when you're listening to my music, man. Or if you met me, or if you seen me, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's not too many people doing it how I'm doing it.
No.
You know?
And we're going to hop into that. But the last one, your bonus track. So this is the thing. I have a question. So why are some things listed as a bonus track and not like...
Because I think sonically it's so different from everything else.
Okay.
So, and plus I wanted to put it on there just to be like, you know what I'm saying, this is a great song. And it's a party song, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, and maybe that's what I'm like, when I heard it, I was like, why is this a bonus track?
It's such a ride through, like, the first
True.
9.
And you don't want to mess up the loop.
Yeah, you know, and then it's like, you know, it's a vibe for sure, but it's like, you know, I want people to have something that, you know, maybe if you made it all the way to the end, here's a little something extra that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can definitely, like, you know. That
rounded off my top 3. Yeah. So, Champagne Hot Box is my number 1. Not My Business is number 2, and Rockin' is my number 3. Those are my top 3 from the album. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
So, like, the production of the album, I know you are, like, in your producing bag now.
Yeah.
So, like, how many of the tracks did you produce on this?
All of them. Other than the interlude,
So, like, what's that? Okay, so, okay, Pharrell. So, what's it like being in your music bag and, well, you're rapping, because that's one thing, and then producing. So, like, what was that like?
It's, you know, it's so much easier for me to be a producer because, like, I can make beats all day because I don't have to, like, I guess express myself through words all the time because, like, I'm so in my head, you know. I'm very judgmental of myself.
Aren't we all? I'm gonna say I'm an artist and I'm very sensitive about my shit.
You know, so I hear myself say something and I'm like, I don't think I said that right, you know. And then I'm like, I'm gonna try to say something else. But, like, you know, when it comes to the beats, it's like, you know, if I didn't like the way that you know, snare hit or that kick was hitting, I can just change it real quick, find a new one.
Right.
So, like, I found myself falling more in love with making beats, and it's like, cause I can make anything.
Right.
You know, I can make any beat I want to. There's no, I guess, like, you know how, you know, they got rap cap. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about capping in my beats because it's a beat. You know,
it's mine.
I can make a beat that's a little more trappy. I can make a beat that's a little more, you know, jazzy or, you know, a little more, you know, pop. And, you know,
you did your one with that that OJ the Juice Man.
On Champagne, you know
you did your big one with that. So, like, when producing, what beat did you enjoy making the most?
Ooh. That's a tough one. That's actually a good question because, like, usually if I hopped on it, then I'm like, this is one. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
So, dang. I feel like Champagne Hot Box was that one for me for sure, because like it just, you know, you just stumble upon like one of those things. I'm just like, you know, I have like a eureka moment whenever I'm like, yo, this is really like, this is hard. And then you know, I threw the OJ on there. I'm just like, nah, this is crazy, you know. And like, yeah, so and another one of those things. I think my girl was with me in the stew that night too, and I was just like, yo, like I gotta do this.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I gotta do this.
OJ gonna be down here on Sunday. By the way,
tell him, yo, tell him I got him on the track. You know.
Listen, but yeah, so like just seeing your growth, like what do you want the listeners to get from your album? Man,
like, you know, whoever it is that you listening to, you know what I'm saying, that's in the city around you, just go ahead and stop listening to them. You know what I'm saying? Listen to me.
And I think you said in one-on-one, you was like, I'm not Kendrick, I'm not this person. Like, and I feel like as an artist, like, it's cool to be compared, you know, but it's just
I get those comparisons a lot.
But eventually it's just like, all right, I'm Luv Hutch. This is who I am. Like, remember the name. But I think, honestly, I'm really impressed. Like, every time I just see the growth and everything. So, like, I literally posted something about being the person, be like, what's next? I hate to be that person, but what's next?
No, for real. I mean, yeah. It goes back to what we was talking about earlier when you like, you know, after I drop, I should take a woosah moment. But it's like, as soon as I drop, I'm like, now I got to, like, you know, top that
visuals, you know merch, touring, wherever it is,
you know, or top that project, you know what I'm saying, if you know, or just have music ready, because like, you know, I'm the type of person where, you know, I still have tracks left over. It's a lot of stuff that didn't make it.
Ooh,
that I'm
interested in hearing what that sounds like.
Yeah, I was like, it's some stuff on there that didn't make it. I'm just like, man, I wanted to put this on here. Even when I listen back to it, sometimes I'm like, man, should I put that track on there?
Sounds like a deluxe album.
Yeah. It might just have to be that, but yeah, so yeah, next is just being able to promote this album as best as I can, because I feel like this is the best solid, like, you know, piece of work that I put together since 2020, since COVID, for real. And this is really like my second solo, you know, project, for real.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's my sophomore project. That's crazy.
This is your baby.
Did a whole name change and everything.
Right. This is the baby.
I done been through so much, but yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm looking forward to what you have coming up. I'm looking forward to just this dropping and y'all hearing it and just streaming it and just supporting. The main thing is supporting, showing up to shows, because like we want our artists from down here to blow up, but it's just like when they have shows, y'all need to buy tickets and be there. Those butts and seats matter. Those conversions of merch, they matter. So like, streams are fabulous. We love streams, but make sure you're supporting these artists, showing up to their shows, following them on social media, buy their merch. Like, y'all spend $20 on them gigantic hookah pins, spend $20 on a shirt. Like, you are killing yourself, actually.
Word, them vape Stop it.
But yeah, so like, where can the people? Well, before we do that. Mm-hmm. What do you want to close out with? Is there anything else that I didn't ask that you want to cover?
No, you pretty much, we went through everything on the project. So like, you know, but yeah, you can follow me on social media, man. I'm mainly on Instagram. Sometimes I'm on X or Twitter, whichever one people still
Twitter. Your mama named you Twitter, so I'm gonna call you Twitter.
But it's LUV, you know, Hutch. You know what I'm saying? But I got more in store, you know what I'm saying? Just rock with me. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm going to always give you a solid project or some solid content or just solid music. Just give me some time.
When you going to start doing fashion reels?
I don't know. I tried a little bit on TikTok, and you know what I'm saying, they was doing their thing, but then like I switched over to just like having my beats on there, and people like that too. So
okay, well I think you should like do some fashion reels. That's just my suggestion.
Okay, all right.
Think about it. Y'all can do like really cute couple. Y'all can do couple cute.
And listen, that's
couple I follow, and they like just went to Tokyo. Okay, getting off track.
It's not all me. Like my girl be like definitely like.
No, every time I see her, she got that shit on.
Yeah, so like, she puts me on game.
All right, so again, the album is dropping.
May 16th.
May 16th is going to be available on all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms, Snapchat,
everywhere. Make sure you are streaming. Make sure you are supporting Instagram, whatever, all that good stuff. And yeah, so thank you for taking the time to sit with me. Yeah. I'm really excited about this. So make sure you're connecting with me. Instagram, Kaylin, and Instagram and Facebook, Kaylin. X and TikTok, _Kris. Kaylin, if you would like to film your podcast here at Link Studios, make sure you are clicking that link in my bio. We got 3 rooms for you to check out, so make sure you do that. But as always, I am closing this chapter in my diary, and I'm super excited. So thank you again for sitting with me.
Thank you.
Yay, it's a wrap.